Good day. Today we are going to focus on the cost accounting. So they are saying your neighbor owns a factory that makes solar um, powered lights, right? The financial year ends on 28th February 2022. Complete the following ledger accounts. So we are told to do these 3 ledger accounts, right? And then we're told to show the calculations in brackets so that part marks can be earned, right? So for the work in process, you can see that we are given the opening balance, the balance at the beginning of the year on the 1st of March 2021. So we've recorded it here as the opening balance. And then also for the finished goods, we are given the opening balance, right? The opening balance for the finished goods, that is 230,000. So we've already recorded it, right? But then for the petrol overheads, the petrol overheads does not have the opening balance. Okay. So now let's get back to work. We are given the information, the raw material stock. The opening balance is 500,000, 550,000, right? This is the raw material, right? Remember, in a raw material stock, what happens is that what the business does, the business send some of the raw material, right, to the work in process. So we need to find out that how much did the business send in the work in process. Okay, so you can see, and also the consumable stores. So you have the consumable stores, right? So opening balance is 8,000, right? And then the purchases, they were 52,250, right? And then for the raw material, the purchases, they were 6,325,000, right? Let's continue. So, and then they said included in the cost of raw material above are 15,000 rechargeable solar batteries included in the raw material here. As the 15,000 rechargeable solar batteries as a cost of €2 60 each, right? These batteries have been fully paid for and are currently in the transit from the German, right? They are expected to arrive in Durban in April 2022. That is the next financial year, right? €1 currently cost 17 rand 29 cent. So let's find out that actually the rechargeable batteries actually they charge how much. So we have two euros multiplied by 17 rand. So this means that actually 2,6 times 17,29. So this means that each battery is costing 44 rand, 454, right? So now we want to know that actually the business paid how much, because the business bought 15,000 rechargeable solar batteries. Now we know that each battery is costing 44 rand. So we're going to say multiply by 15,000 is equal to multiply by 15,000. 674,310. So this means that actually the business paid this much, right? So this amount is included here. But then what I want you to note is that the business, this stock will only be in the business in the next financial year, right? So this means that at the moment in the storeroom, this 674,010 is not here in the business. So therefore, we must subtract this 674,310 so that we can know that actually how much is a raw material that is in a storeroom. So we must subtract this 674,000, right? Let's continue. Let us see. The business currently had a 1,560,000 invested in the equipment, right? So meaning that the equipment is 1,560,000. Depreciation is calculated according to the fixed installment method. So the fixed installment method, that is the same as the cost price method. You just take the amount and then multiply by the percentage. You don't subtract the accumulated, right? And then they are saying that 90% of all the equipment is used in the factory, right? So we have to calculate the depreciation. So we know the depreciation, we must go and record it under the factory overheads, right? But then under factory overheads, we only record the depreciation of the factory. So we have the depreciation. So let's do the calculations. Let's do the calculations. Let's do the calculations. Okay, so 1,560,000 multiplied by 15%, right? Because we are looking for the depreciation, right? But then after finding a depreciation, we must multiply that depreciation by 90% because 90% is for the factory overheads. So 1,560,000 multiplied by 15% multiplied by 90%, that is going to be 210,600, right? Now let's continue. Letter D. 28,000 was paid for the factory maintenance. Let's come here. The factory maintenance. Factory maintenance. So the factory maintenance is 28,000. Right. Now, what did they say? A further 13,000 is owed for the repairs done to the machine in the factory on 28 February 2022. Right? So meaning that we have another maintenance, but then this one is still owed, meaning that the business has not yet paid this one. But what you need to remember is the matching. The matching is saying that expenses should be recorded in a year that they belong in. So yes, this 13,000 is not yet paid, but then it belongs in this financial year. So therefore, we must come and edit here because it is still a maintenance. It's just that it is not yet paid. But we have to follow the maintenance, we have to follow the matching concept, which is saying that expenses should be recorded in a year they belong in, even if they have not yet been paid. So this is going to be 41,000. All right. And then letter E, 420,000 was paid for water and electricity. So we have water and electricity. We are told that 420,000 was paid for them. Okay, what else? These costs must be shared in the ratio of 4:1, right? Between the factory, administration, and the sales departments. So meaning that the 4 is for the factory, the 1 is for the administration, and the 1 is for the sales. So when we add these together, they are going to give us 6. Alright? They are going to give us 6. So because we want the water and electricity for the factory, so this 420 is the 6, because below we need to put what we have. So what we have is a 420, which is all of these, the factory overheads, administration, and the sales. So this is going to give you 420. And what we want right now is the factory overheads. The factory is 4. So that is going to give us how much? 420,000 multiplied by 4 divided by 6. That is going to be 280,000. Okay. Now, rent allocated according to the floor space. So we have the factory, rent. Now, what are they saying about the rent? Is allocated according to the floor space used by each department. Okay, the factory comprise of 600 square meters, meaning that the factory uses this space, while the office and the sales department combined used 200 square meters. So this means that when we combine all of these departments, they use a space of total of 800 square meters, right? That is true. And then the rental amount paid for the entire premises from 1 March 2021 to 31 January 2022. So the business paid for the period of 1 March 2021 to 31 January 2022. That is how many months? That is 11 months from 1 March to 31 January 2022. So how much? This means that this 176,000, it's a rent of 11 months. So we want to know that actually how much is the rent per month, because remember, yes, the business has not yet paid this rent, but then we need to remember the matching concept, which is saying that expenses should be recorded in a year that they belong in. So 176,000. So actually, the month of February is an accrued expense. So therefore, we must come and add it here. So plus 16,000. Okay. So now, but they are continuing. What are they saying? They said 600 is for the factory, and then another 200 is for the office and sales department. Now, so we want to know that actually how much is the amount for the factory. So below we are going to put what we have. So what we have is that this rent is for the whole business, meaning it's for the admin, office, and also the factory. So that is an 800 square meters, right? While the factory is comprising 600 square meters, which is what we want. So then how much is that? So 176,000 plus 16,000 is equal to 192,000 multiplied by 600 divided by 800. That is going to be 144,000. Right? Letter G, insurance. Insurance for the administration department. Okay, let's come here. We have the factory insurance. Factory insurance. What are they saying? Insurance for the admin. is 12,450, right? This is what we have. This amounts to 15% of the total insurance for the business, right? Um, and then a further 10% of the total insurance is allocated to the sales department. So the remainder is for the factory. So this means that how much is for the factory? 100 minus 15 minus 10. So this means that 75 is for the factory. So what I used to do is this. So below we put what we have, right? This is what we have. And then above we put what we want, right? So let's do this. Let's do this. So we have 12,450 multiplied by. So I said below we put what we have. So what we have is 12,450, which is for the admin, and the admin is 15%, right? What we want is a factory. So the factory is 75%. So 12,450 multiplied by 75 divided by 15. That is going to be 62,250, right? Let's continue. Now, we have the salary of the admin, sales manager, salary of the factory manager, right? Salary of the factory manager. Salary for factory for manager of the factory, right? So it is given 220,000, right? So we can see that these ones they have nothing to do with the factory, and also this one. And then we have the wages of the factory workers. Now this one, yes, it's for the factory, but then this one is the direct labor. And the direct labor and the the direct labor and the direct material, we do not record them under the factory overheads, right? So meaning that the wages of the factory workers, we will not record them under factory overheads. And then they're continuing. All managers are entitled to a pension fund of 1.5 per month, right? So 1.5 multiplied by 12, that is 18,000. So that is also an expense. So come and add it here, 18,000 plus what else? All employees receive 1% contribution towards the unemployment insurance fund, right? So let's calculate that a contribution for the factory manager. So we're going to say 220,000 multiplied by 1%, that is 2.2, 2,200. So 220,000 plus 18,000 plus 2.2, that is 240,200. All right. And then now they said total sales for the year ended 28 February 2022 amounted to 9,491,937. The business applies a markup of 30%. Now, what you need to remember is that once the business has finished to manufacture the goods, the business what the business does, the business sells the goods. So when the business sells the goods, it means that the goods have to decrease. So we have to come here. So the business sells the finished goods. So when the business sells the finished goods have to decrease. So the finished goods, but they do not decrease with the selling price. Remember, this is a stock. So the stock does not decrease with the selling price. It is going to decrease with the cost of sales. So we have to find that amount of the cost of sales. So we're going to say 9 million 491,937 multiplied by, right? So they said that the markup is 30%. So we know that cost price plus markup, the markup is 8, the cost price is always 100. So cost price plus markup is equal to selling price. So right now what we have is the sales. So the sales, they are the selling price. So below we are going to put what we have. So what we have is 130. And then what we're looking for is 100, which is the cost price. So 9,491,937 multiplied by hundreds divided by 130. That is going to be 7,301,490. Right? Let's continue. And then now the balance is on 28 February 2022. For the raw material stock, we are given that at the end of the year, it is 485,000, right? So, but then looking at this, let's calculate. So looking at this, so this means that some of the raw material stock, it was transferred to the work in process. Because if you can look here, we had a lot of the raw material. So adding this plus this, then minus this, we had a lot of raw material. So this means that some of the raw material was sent to the factory, right? So when the raw material is being sent to the factory, the raw material decreases, but then the work in process, it increases. So let's come and increase the work in process. 28 February 2022. So we have the direct material cost, right? So how much is a direct material? So let's find it. So 550,000 plus 6,325,000 minus 674,310 674,310, right? And then now we must also subtract this 485,000, because we want to know that actually how much did they send to the factory. So what minus 485,000. So then let's find that amount. 510,000, 550,000 plus 6,325,000 minus 674,310 minus 485,000, 5,715,690. So that is how we find it. Okay. And then after that, we are going to have the direct labor. So if you can remember there, it was not given. And then we are going to have the factory overheads. So let's go and calculate the factory overheads. Let's go and calculate the factory overheads. So before we calculate the factory overheads, let's come here. The finished goods, also the balance at the end is given. The finished goods. So for a finished good, we are given the balance at the end. So that is the balance credit down. It is 350,000. All right. Finished goods, 250,000. And then the work in process stock, it is 230. Balance at the end. Balance at the end. So 28 February 2022, we have the balance credit down of 230,000. Right now, and then the consumable stores, it is 10,600. We are told that that is for the factory. Come and record. Remember, in the factory, we want the consumable, the used one. We want the used one, right? We want to know that how much is the consumable, the used one for the factory. So let's come here. We have the opening balance for the consumables, the factory. It was 8,000. And then it was bought for 52,250. So this means that actually now the consumables, it was worth this amount, right? But then now we are at the end. We are told that the consumables at the end, their balance is 10,600. So now we need to know that how much is the used one. So to know the used one, we must subtract the one that is the one that is at the end, 10,600. So 8,000 plus 52,250 minus 10,600. That is going to be 49,650. So let's calculate the total. So plus 240,200 plus 62,250 plus 144,000 plus 280,000 plus 41,000 plus 210,600. That is 1,027,700. 1,027,700. So which is the amount that we must transfer? Which is the amount that we must transfer to the work in process? So this is going to the work in process. This is 28 February 2022. So this is going to the work in process. We know that if something is credited, it must also be debited, right? So we must come and debit this here. 1,027,700. Right? So we're almost at the end. We're almost at the end. So now we need to find out that actually here in the work in process, how much finished stock, how much we need to know that how much did we transfer from the work in process to the finished goods. We need to know that how much did we transfer. So to know that, let's come here, because from here it is simple. So the balance credit down is already given. So let's find that's actually how much did we receive from the 303,490 plus, it's not like this, not like this, 7,301,490 plus 350,000. That is 7,651,490. Right? 7,651,490. Because we know that when you are transferring the finished good stock from the work in process, it must come here and increase the finished good stock. But then in this case, it was not given, meaning that we have to find it ourselves. So this is 28 February 2022, right? So now let's find it. So I'm going to say 7,490,000 minus 230,000. That is going to be 7,421,490. So this means that at the beginning of the year, of the next financial year, on 1 March 2022, the balance brought down is going to be 350,000. Right? Okay. So this means that now we have the amount that we got from the work in process. It is 7,421,490. All right. So now this now it means that now we can be able to find this amount of the direct labor, because we are giving the balance credit down and then the finished goods, now we now have it. So let's find it. So plus 230,000, that is 7,651,490. Let me check something. Okay, 7,651,490. Right, now we have to find this amount of the direct labor. So let's separate all these debit side. So minus 1,027,700 minus 5,715,690 minus 180,900. It is going to be 727,200. So this means that this is your direct labor. Then on 1 March 2022, the balance brought down is going to be 230,000 here. So that is your cost accounting, the ledger accounts. Thank you so much.